it was incredible. And to do it for this city, I would have been happy to win a World Series anywhere. To do it for this city, I mean, there's no better feeling.
What's going on? It's Keyshawn, and welcome to my show, All Facts and No Breaks. Joining me today is World Series champion. Now, think about what I just said. World Series champion, and what that sounds like here in Los Angeles. Our pitcher, and I say our because I've been a Dodger fan my entire life, Jack Flaherty. What's happening, man?
Man, it feels good to hear that.
My son is over there, Keyshawn. I got him into baseball when he was young, but he never played. But
No.
he likes to watch.
Yeah, we love baseball over here.
Yeah, and hearing that World Series champion, that's never gonna get old. Every time I hear it, it's still I don't know, it still doesn't feel real.
I could only imagine. I go all the way. Obviously, I'm older than you and whatnot. I go all the way back to 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the stands as a kid.
Oh, really?
1988.
So you really been a Dodger fan forever?
Oh yeah, my mom used to take me to the games. And I sit in the left field pavilion overlooking the dugout and watching all them dudes warm up, whether it was Dave Stewart or Steve Howe and Mark Cressy warming them up and just Jerry Royce and Tom Nietenfuer. I just remember.
Yeah.
But I played baseball when I was young because the love of the game, but to sit and watch you guys, because first of all, taking care of the Padres, that was the first thing, right? You got them out the way. Get out. Y'all still little brother. Y'all still little brother. Get out the way.
Hey, they pushed us. They pushed us, man. That was a series.
They pushed, but we brought it back home in Game 5 and closed it out and sent them packing. And then New York, it was like they kind of hung around a little bit, played little games, and we went on and wiped them out. And then obviously, big brother in New York, we took care of business against them. A week removed from the parade.
I can't believe it's only been a week.
Your mind, man, like when it all went down and y'all won the thing and closed it out. What went through your mind at that process?
I mean, I can't believe it's only been a week since the parade. That feels. It
still
feels
drunk?
like. I mean, no, not anymore.
Not anymore. It's worn out.
No, that's not true. It don't wear off.
It doesn't.
It doesn't wear off because when we won the Super Bowl. You wouldn't remember. I mean, you was young, but you were there.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Drunk for like 5 days.
I was going to say about 5 days.
Maybe I would say drunk in Tampa for 5 days, but then the party extended.
It kept going.
Because it's off season now.
Man.
So
it's off season.
Yeah, we done went to the Bahamas. And we done went to Cabos, and we was doing the damn thing.
That's the way it is, man. That's the way it should be. I mean, I've been enjoying every second of winning it. When we did it, I felt like it was over. We got to the 9th inning, and I knew Buehler was coming in the game, and it just felt like, man, Walker's going to get this thing done. And we get that last out, and it was just like, wow. You black out. You just sprint onto the field, hug everybody. You're looking for the next person to hug, and it's just one after the other. And then they, get on stage, do this. I didn't even get to – guys was taking pictures with the trophy in the dugout after, at one point. I didn't even do that. I didn't even know that was going on. Because it was just so much. So much chaos. I was with my family. We didn't even drink that much. Like all the beers and everything. They just get dumped out. Guys didn't really even drink that much afterwards. We was celebrating. It was.
Y'all didn't drink on the plane?
No, we drank on the plane.
Yeah,
for sure. We drank on the plane and on the bus ride. But I remember walking out of there. I was like, oh, I'm way more sober than I thought I'd be. And then, but then we drank on the plane on the way back to LA. And man, it was just one of those feelings I'll never forget.
Who's on the Dodgers that you didn't expect to be a party guy that once you guys won?
Oh, I can't give that away. I can't tell that much. Come on now, I can't blow up somebody's spot.
What you trying to get in?
I can't blow up somebody's spot like that.
I feel you though.
No, so basically growing up in Southern California, Burbank area, going to Harvard Westlake, what being able to just take us in the moment of being able to win the World Series and be here from LA though and win it. It typically doesn't happen that way in professional sports.
No, it doesn't happen. You don't see it too much. And I think everybody has the dream of, wanting to play for their hometown. It's an unbelievable picture. And everybody wanted to play for their hometown.
Badass.
I know, that's crazy. Mom's put all those out. But to win it and everything, and to have the Dodger blue on, have the Dodgers and the LA on the hat, everything, to do it for the city, like, I think I've seen more of the effect afterwards. Just people being from here, like, even, I had a call with one of my, like, family friends, and he's telling me, "Thank you," and I was like, "For what?" I'm like, "We just been friends." He's like, "No, like, I've been a Dodger fan forever." He's like, "I obviously want them to win." He's like, "Imma root for you wherever you are."
Yeah.
But it was cool to bring a championship here, and then the parade, and to see, like, my brother, my mom, my 2 best friends, they were with me, and to see my brother's excitement, 'cause he's a diehard Dodger fan,
Yeah.
obviously, growing up, and he was like, "I'm happy I finally get to root for them." He's like, "I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I'm happy I get to enjoy these 2 months," would end up being 3 months, and then to win it and to be able to bring him on the parade, see how excited he was and everybody, and then, like, it all just came to a head afterwards. Once it was over, the parade ended, sitting in the dugout with my boy and my family, it just, like, all the emotions came out.
Did you
Like, I was
cry?
waiting for it. Oh, man, it was like a 20
Cry.
it was like a good 20-minute cry. I think people were concerned, like, "Are you
Are
okay?"
you
I was like, "I'm
okay?
good." It just all came out, and it was just, like, happiness and excitement. A little sad because, like, it's over, and
Yeah.
I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
And so, but it was incredible, and to do it for this city, I would've been happy to win a World Series anywhere. To do it for this city, I mean, there's no better feeling.
Did you hear? I'm sure by now you heard from your former high school teammates.
Oh, yeah.
What did they?
I mean, just congrats, as happy as they could be. I got to be there when Max Fried, when he won his.
In Atlanta, right?
Yeah, yeah, they won in Atlanta. I went out for the game to watch him. He pitched unbelievable, close it out. Lucas, I'll be there when he gets his opportunity. And so, but they both came out, watched game 1 in LA, which was special to me 'cause, uh, just to have that support from those guys, means a lot. They're busy. They got a lot going on. But just to see them there and have them around is always special. And those relationships I always hold on to.
In high school though, you actually played in Dodger Stadium in the championship
Yeah.
in high school. Was how much of a difference outside crowd? How much of a difference was the feeling
Yeah.
back then to now?
Yeah. Crowd was definitely different, obviously. Then, I mean, that's crazy because that's just one game. Like, it's one game, either we win
Oh,
or
is that
we
right?
don't.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
That's just what I mean, you play through playoffs, and it's just single
Oh, I
elimination.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you had like 3, 4
No,
games,
we
something
played
like
one
that.
game against that team, and, everybody on that team will always be, like, family. That's as close as I've ever been with a group of guys. I grew up playing with some of them, and, like, we'll always be as close as we can be. And then, I mean, if it felt like the same type of vibes with this Dodgers team, with how close we got, even me only being there for a couple months, like, it was one of those things where we talked to everybody. I can't say we, but conversation on the team of, "Hey, look, playoffs is coming up. We need you guys for the next 3 series, you know, and once it's over, you guys can go be the best dads that you can be. But right now, we need you guys to be here as much as we can all day. On the road, we're traveling together as a team. We're going to dinners. Like, we're gonna do this thing all together." And, I think it just went to show how much everybody was bought in and, like, we're gonna do this no matter what it takes because, they've had some ups and downs in the playoffs over the last couple of years, but it was really cool to see.
Now, definitely has some ups and downs the last couple of years, and people hating on 2020. They don't even want to give us that credit just because.
I would have loved to have won in 2020.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like, so
100%.
what? Y'all don't say that when
100%.
Tom Brady won his damn Super Bowl.
Right,
Y'all
yeah.
don't bash him, but y'all
No.
always knocking us for our so-called, asterisk
Yeah,
in winning the World Series in 2020 because it was a pandemic. Leave us alone.
I would have loved to have won in 2020.
Man, the Yankees would have loved that, won it. The
Anyone
Red
would've.
Sox, all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. Why 0? Why number 0?
Well, I mean, if you look at the Dodgers, all the good numbers have been taken.
Or
Like, all the
retired or something.
yeah, retired or taken, and so coming over. I wore 9 in Detroit, but Gavin Lux, he had it, and I wasn't gonna. I don't. It's to try to take a number at the deadline and whatnot. That's too difficult. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it all that.
Vet.
Yeah, Lux. Yeah, I was happy that if somebody was gonna wear 9, it was him. I was gonna wear 27 because that's what Matt Kemp wore, and that was my guy. But
Now stay out of 27.
but they one of the other guys had it, and so I went up and down the list, and one of the coaches was wearing 0, and I was like, and I think I had a conversation with my friends when I was wearing 9, and we had a conversation about 0, like, would you ever wear 0? Like, it kind of fits you, and I was like, I don't know, like 9, I've worn them my whole life, but one of the coaches was wearing 0, and I asked, I was like, would he switch? And they were like, yeah, of course, and um, but I had two guys in basketball that wear 0 or wore in Westbrook and Tatum, 2 guys that I love to watch, and so, yeah, well, it was one of the few numbers that was available for me, and to be able to wear it, it just I don't know, it kind of felt right.
When Skipper said he's handing you the ball in Game 1 of the World Series, did he bring you into his office or was y'all out on the practice field? Like, how did that take me through that? How did that happen? What did he say?
So we win the NLCS in Game 6, which was a bullpen game, and we get done, and Mark Pryor is he's on top of everything, and everybody's hugging and whatnot. And he's like, by the way, just get ready for Game 1. Like, I'd like just be sure. And I was like, okay. And I enjoy the night. The team, we go out, we celebrate a little bit, and then it's like, hold up, like, I got to get ready for Game 1. Like, we got an off day tomorrow, like first true off day, and then it was like, I gotta get ready for Game 1, and they just confirmed it with me the next day when I was in there. It wasn't a real big conversation. It was like, just get, you got Friday, you got the ball, kind of just business as usual. And for me, like, I just try to keep it that way. Like, okay, business as usual. It's just more media. It's just all this other stuff that's got to go on. You got to do a couple of media sessions and whatnot. But for me, it was just, they kept it as business as usual.
And then you got to go through the scouting report.
Yeah, and then it's get ready for the Yankees.
So between the time that you learned you would be the starter to the actual day, how many days was that in between?
What day did we?
Was it like 3 days in between?
I don't know what day we.
It was long.
So
it was at least, if I can remember, it was like 4 days.
Yeah, Game 6 was what, Sunday? I think Game 6 was on a Sunday, and then Game 1 was Friday, because I went Friday to Friday in between starts. So Game 6 was Sunday, and then we had an off day Monday, and I was told Tuesday, hey, you got the ball Friday. So it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Wednesday, Thursday, you got to get the scouting report.
Yeah.
And now you got to remember, okay, I can't throw a cutter low and outside to him.
Yeah.
If I throw the slider over here, it can't be high and in.
Yeah.
If I throw a curve,
you just go through it all.
Count, you got to remember all that for every single batter.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah. And it's just, but that's normal, for us, like, once my start ends, I got 5 days to get ready for the next one. So I got to do all that. Everything I just did for one team, I got to do that for the next team. Yeah. And so I'll sit in the video room, go over the numbers, get the numbers that they give me, or sit at home, watch some video, and just go over it over and over and over until I can remember it. And it's like, I say it out loud. I'll be in the video room talking out loud to myself. And I think for the first few times people are in there, like, what's going on? It's just, for me, that's the way that I remember things. And so, but yeah, we got 3 days.
Do you get the help from what's the catcher? Will Smith?
Will? Yeah.
Do you get, like, do y'all Will's study it together?
No, I study it on my own. Will's on his stuff. He's got his numbers and whatnot and what he goes about. And but he's a man. He was on top of it.
Yeah, I see. It seemed like if I was pitching, I might get spooked and mess up.
Why?
Because it just seemed like a lot. Because I study football.
You think about football. You guys have a lot.
But yeah, we study a lot. But I know my stuff, like left and right, like you would know in baseball. But it just seemed like to me, if I got Juan Soto up and I got a 2-2 count and somebody's on second and I got somebody else on deck, and I got to remember, if I pitch this to him, then I'm going to he going to go to third and he on deck, and it's just a lot.
You overthinking it, man.
Man,
You're
it seems
overthinking it.
like
It's
a
the
lot.
same way you look at it with football, though.
God.
You got to know your route. You got to know the coverage. You got to know this and that. You got to know what your quarterback's thinking about. I don't know football like that, but that's my assumption
No,
of
you're
it.
right. No,
And so
you're
it's the
right.
same things.
No,
I
you're
got to
totally
know.
right.
I got to think what Will's thinking. I got to know where our defense is. I got to know what the hitter might be thinking.
But what if you sometimes, like, have you ever in a game, not necessarily World Series, but in a game, be like, fuck that. I'm throwing a fucking fastball at high and tight.
Look, what we
Even though your scouting reports say you probably should do that.
What we talk about is that, the wrong pitch with conviction is better than the right pitch with no conviction. So whatever the right pitch may be, if I'm up there like, I don't know, don't throw that. But if I'm like, we going with this pitch and I have full belief behind it and I can come in and I can tell our coaches, well, why'd you throw that? And I'll be like, man, I just this, and this. They'll be like, all right, like you can live with it at the end of the day.
This episode of All Facts, No Breaks is presented by Color Guard. As my listeners may know, a few of my family and close friends have undergone battles with various forms of cancer, so increasing awareness around the importance of cancer screenings is very personal to me. And on that note, today I want to tell you about the Color Guard test, which is a great use at-home option to screen for colon cancer. The Color Guard test is one-of-a-kind way to feel more in control of your colon cancer screenings through a prescription-based test with none of the prep that's required in a colonoscopy. It is the only FDA-approved non-invasive screening test that looks for both altered DNA and blood in your stool. What I want my listeners to know is that colon cancer screenings are crucial for early detection because many patients with early-stage colon cancers have no symptoms at all and are diagnosed through a preventative screenings. And for my listeners in their late 40s who think this doesn't apply to them, guess what? The American Cancer Society recommends that if you are at average risk, you begin screening for colon cancers at age 45. We're not talking 50 or 55 here, people. When it comes to staying on top of your health, the time is now. Plus, the Cologuard test doesn't just offer convenience and ease of use, it's also affordable. Most insured patients pay $0 with zero downtime, no special preparation, and use at-home screening tests that deliver right to your door. It's delivered right to your door. There's no reason that we should let our health take a back seat. What are we waiting for? So if you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a Cologuard prescription through a telehealth provider today at Cologuard.com/podcast. The Cologuard test is intended to screen adults 45 and older at average risk for colorectal cancer. Do not use Cologuard test if you have had an anomalous, have inflammatory bowel disease, and certain hereditary syndromes, or a person or family history of colorectal cancer. The Cologuard test is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Cologuard test performance in adults ages 45 to 49 is estimated based on a large clinical study of patients 50 and older. False positives and false negatives can occur. Cologuard is available by prescription only. Tell me a little about Dave.
Doc?
Yeah, Doc. Let me, because me and Doc go way back too, but what's it like having him manage you opposed to some of the other managers that you've had in your career?
He's what's the word I'm looking for? He's more lively.
Yeah.
He's more lively.
Of course, he was backing it up on Ice Cube. Like, Dave, man, what the hell are you doing?
Hey, man, it was a long day for everybody.
Oh my God.
It was a long day for everybody, man. He just
early morning too.
Yes, early morning, long day. I'm sure, we landed Thursday morning. I'm sure he kept going. And
of course.
there was
Hey.
I just want to know what Cube was thinking at that point.
Cube probably was like, what the
Cube
hell?
was like, I don't, Doc had the water in his hands too, but
I'm weak.
Yeah, no, he's lively.
Yeah.
He's lively because I've been in, St. Louis or like, they're a little more they Ollie and Schulte and Matheny have been a little bit more, like right, like just like business-like, and same thing with, Hyde in Baltimore and AJ. And Doc was a little bit more lively. He just said he's always fired up, and that's just how he was. That's how he had to play,
Mhm.
and he's gonna manage the same way. And so he goes with the highs and lows of the game. He pretty much keeps a stoic face during the game, but every time I get over to see him, he's excited. He's pumped up, and but he's as pumped up for you as any other player in there when you do something good. And when you don't, like, he's got your back. Like, he's
Mhm.
gonna have your back. And so that's what I appreciate.
So I was at game 1.
Yeah.
I was at game 1, and
You were turned too.
look, I'm grown.
What
What
you
you
mean?
expect from me not to
Nah,
be?
I mean, it was after the game when you guys won. Not even like
I
on
mean,
Oh
like
yeah, no, I was so game 1. I'm there,
mm-hmm.
and it's just going. At the beginning, it's going a little weird, and then it got according to plan. Then it got a
Chimino was
little.
going weird.
It was. We wasn't. We were not. I think it was like. Was it the 6th inning?
It was a 6th inning. We was up 1-0. I
1-0.
gave it a 2-run homer.
And then the 2-run homer
Yeah.
came, right? So I'm like, fuck. So now I done got up out my seat.
Yeah.
At this point, like my son said, I'm mucheladas or whatever they call them things. Tequila.
Uh-huh.
Now I done went to the Lexus Lounge.
Oh man.
Now I come back. You out the game.
Yeah.
I come back. I sit down for a few seconds. I'm sweating the whole thing. Now all of a sudden they go ahead.
Yeah.
And I think it was the bottom of the 8th. And I told my boy, I tell him, I say, man, if we don't get no fucking runs right here, I'm leaving. I don't care. And now, we got seats. We got the mega seats, right? So I'm like, man, I don't want to be sitting here looking at this. He's like, we ain't going nowhere. He faded too. He's like, we ain't going nowhere. And so I'm like, okay. So now we get to the 9th. They go up. Then I think the bottom of the 9th, we came back, right?
Yeah,
bottom of the 9th.
something like that. We tied it
Or something.
Extras, yeah.
So now I'm like, man, this shit is over. So let's start walking out. So we start walking out toward the Lexus Lounge. So at that point, we want to get some more drinks. So now I'm waiting. Now
they gotta go through the gauntlet though.
They gotta go through the gauntlet. So I think it was 7, 8, 9 or 8, 9 before they got to Ohtani. It was one of them type of sequences.
Lux walked. Tommy got on. Tommy got a hit. It was something crazy.
Then we had 2 outs.
Yeah.
And then they walked Mookie.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So at that point, I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. Right? And so I'm cussing, I'm going off, and everybody in there, Dodger fans, we all mad or whatnot. And then all of a sudden, you could hear it off the bat. And my son told me, you should have seen the video I put up.
Crazy.
Crazy. Because by then, I might have been like multiple shots in. Oh, I start talking that shit. All my New York people that I know, whether it was Spike Lee, Stephen A., any of them, I done sent this video to them talking mad cash, right? Yeah. I'm like, and I knew, for some reason, when we did that, it was all about us now. No matter if it was going to be sweeping them, 5, 6, whatever, it was all about us.
That was momentum to the extreme right there. Freddie came up, he hit that ball, and I had never seen him do that. He just held the bat up and walked down.
Man, he held it up.
He looked in the crowd, looked around. He was like, yeah, and I think he doesn't know what happened on the bases.
What do you think got into him though throughout these playoffs for the most part? Like
Freddie?
Yeah, all of a sudden he first pitch, boom, first pitch, gone.
Hey man, that dude had to work so hard to get healthy.
Yeah.
He was grinding. Yeah. He rolls his ankle bad when we beat San Diego in the 9th, and to win the division. He rolls his ankle bad, and a couple of us stayed back, didn't go to Colorado. So I saw the whole thing and everything that he was going through. And I mean, that thing swelled up it was crazy. I haven't seen an ankle like that in a while. And we're like, you can be able to play in a week. And he's like, well, it's a good thing we got some days off, because I definitely couldn't, if we was in a wild card. And it was every day. He's in there for 5, 6 hours. He's in there 4 hours, 3 hours before anybody else gets there, just getting work done. And props to our training staff. And then I'm glad the story finally came out. He's working his way back, and then he takes a swing and I don't know, it was like goes down, like cracks some ribs or whatnot. And so that was scary for everybody because it was like, well, now we're not worried about the ankle. Like he can at least move on it, but can he swing? And so now he's figuring that out. Now it's more time that he's there. And I think just the healthier and healthier he got, he took a couple games off in the NLCS against the Mets, which he hated to do. He didn't
Was it a
he,
couple? I thought it was only one. It was a couple.
it was like the back-to-backs he struggled with. And he was like, I can't. He's like, I don't know how you guys sit here and watch these games, man. Like it's stressful.
Yeah.
He's pacing around the training room.
That's
like
I don't even play for the Dodgers. That's how I am.
He's stressed out. He's like, this
walking
is terrible.
Around. I don't even play.
But the healthier he got, then the better he felt. I think he just got healthier. And then World Series time, man, the dude just locks in. You look at what he did with Atlanta in 21, and what he did in that game. He had a couple good at bats against Cole, and then. Like, that's what was crazy is listening to him talk about the fact that he studied Ohtani's at-bats versus Nestor, not even his own, to be like, okay, this is how they pitched him because they make their best pitches to him. In this situation, that's what they're going to do. And so his game plan was perfect. And, that's one of those, like, it was probably Nestor was convicted in his pitch, but Freddie was on it.
You throwing heat that
Freddie was on it. Freddie was on it. And once he hit that ball, man, you could tell he was healthy. Because he hadn't driven a ball in a while, and he hit that, and it was like, wow, like none of us could believe. It was like, wow, we just won this. He hit a walk-off grand slam.
Walk-off was crazy.
It was unbelievable.
It was so crazy.
Kike, you got Kike running around on the by home plate, running around to the airplane. Yeah. Oh man, everybody was like, what just happened? But that was and then that was momentum, and we was able to win some tough games.
So Joe Kelly, who recently went on the Baseball Isn't Boring podcast, unloaded on the Yankees. Let's take a listen to this.
It was just a mismatch from the get-go. Like, we had a playoff re-ranking. Like, they might be ranked 8th or 9th best playoff team. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting the Padres ahead of them. You're putting the Phillies ahead of them. You're putting the Mets ahead of them. You're putting the Braves ahead of them, and the Braves just got unlucky because they had to play that doubleheader. You're putting – the Guardians played like crap, but the Guardians played better baseball around. Like, it was just a complete mismatch, and it's kind of the same feeling from 2018 when we had to go play the Dodgers. Like, the Red Sox were just a way better team. So all we knew is that we just had to play regular Dodger baseball. We didn't have to play out of our butts. We didn't have to do anything crazy.
So, Jack, what's your take on that?
Joe's gonna talk, man. Joe's gonna talk. Joe's a passionate dude. One of those guys you want on your team. But you couldn't go in and underestimate a team. You can't go in and underestimate a team. Mm-hmm. For me, my job was to go out game one and try to put us in a position to win. I'm going up against Garrett Cole, who, he's got Cy Young under his belt. He's a stud. And
man, but you did your thing.
I know. I got to go out and do my thing. I gotta go out and do my thing. And I went out pitch well.
Yankees.
That don't matter.
Once
he did his thing.
Yeah, but once you beat him, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I know. I think I can pitch with anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
My job was
you held your own. Fuck that.
I think I can pitch with anybody. I know.
100%.
I know what I can do. But hey, I wasn't a part of any of those meetings that went on where those happened. Maybe because I was prepping for game one, nobody brought me into that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I had them. They were a good team. Whoever we're gonna play in the World Series was gonna be a good team, whether it was them or Cleveland. It didn't matter, but. It was. You look at the games. Like,
I felt we had the better team.
Well, I think we were gonna have the better team no matter who we played. Even when we played San Diego, right. I felt going into the whole thing we had the best team. It was just a matter of how's it gonna shake up. Baseball is one of those games where it doesn't matter. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
Yeah.
I think we lost a game in Miami in September, and it was like, well, what's going on? So it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what ranking or anybody is like. You gotta win the games at the end of the day.
And I'm speaking for you, even though I wasn't on the team. But I felt like we just had the better team because we can go long ball, we can play small ball, we could defend, even to the point where our bullpen all of a sudden felt like they became the leaders of the pitching. It's just all of a sudden they Cope and them coming out there gassing. It's just.
Well,
it's just crazy.
I think the storyline going into it, everybody kept talking about, which we kind of took offense to, and even throughout the whole playoffs, was that every other team we faced, they had the starting pitching advantage.
Yeah.
And so for us, You look at what we didn't pitch well in the San Diego series. Like that's just a fact. Like, you know, Yamamoto was okay game 1, I was okay game 2. Walker was better than the numbers had game 3, and then once
But he also was coming off 2 Tommy John
2 Tommy
surgeries.
Johns. And then but what Yamamoto did game 5 where he goes 5 shutout against them. I picked that up
He was
game
mowing
1.
them down.
Yeah, I picked that up game 1. I go 7 shutty against the Mets. So we just picked up one after the other. It was like, you keep doubting us. We've had a bunch of injuries this year. It does not matter. But we were gonna go out and we were gonna pitch well. And we did that. We did that from game 1. Yama in game 2, Walker game 3. Like I didn't pitch well game 5, but we all had our moments where we, they said that our starting pitching wasn't gonna be good enough. And for us, I think we disproved that.
See, in when you went 7, what was your pitch count? It had got high all of a sudden though, because it wasn't high in the beginning, right?
Yeah, there was a couple innings there where it was so, but I think I ended with like 95 or something like that.
Yeah, because at that point, I started thinking like a player. I'm like, man, leave him in, man. Let him see if he can go the distance.
I
know they're not gonna do it.
No,
I know, especially Dave.
No,
ain't
but
gonna do it.
but they can. I think it's playoffs. Everything is so much higher intensity. So to go 9 and then bounce back in a couple days and try to pitch, it's a different animal.
Because what are you on 4 day?
Yeah, I was on 4, but it didn't matter. We were up 7-0. Our bullpen's fresh now. Like I've done my job. And it's like I'm cool with it. I'm
used to seeing dudes, not used to, but I grew up when they go 9.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had different pitch counts. I don't know. Our pitch counts have been slowly gone lower and lower and lower. But yeah, man. Once I did my job and he said I was good, and get the high fives from the boys, hugs from Kirsch and Walker. That was a game that was needed because we had to reset our bullpen because we had used them a bunch in San Diego. So, yeah, I think our starting pitching did a good job.
He left. Who did he leave in? He left somebody in. Who was that? Who did he leave in game 5? Was that you?
Yeah, he
came out.
Oh no, Trinan.
That's right.
Trinan.
Yeah, no, he
Blake
left
had
Trinan.
Thrown, 35 pitches.
He left him in, and I'm like, take him out, because they started connecting, but they wasn't connect. You could just the bats was hitting the ball.
Yeah, they put good at bats together against him, and Blake was used a lot the whole playoffs.
He let him stay
in,
and he got out of it.
Like, look, we kept saying just let the big dogs eat. Once we got the opportunity, and we just kept rolling them out in that game one after the other, and they kept coming in and doing their job, and Blake's a dog, and he showed it there in that instance.
Jack, how do you feel about the new pitch clock? Do you feel like it doesn't help you at all, or it helps you?
I think everybody's adjusted to it. I think there's points in the game where it'd be nice if it was slower. Like I'll use Stanton's home run as an example, right? So the hitter gets one timeout, one timeout, right?
Per bat.
Yes, per at bat. So Jazz had to use his timeout because he was celebrating with them. Like it's a huge home run. 6th inning, take the lead 2-1. You're on the road, game 1. Cole and I have been going back and forth pitch for pitch, and he hits a huge home run, right? By the time that he actually gets the dugout, because everybody's outside the dugout, like Jazz has to be in the box for the next pitch. And so it takes away a little bit of the dramatics of like all that. They're still celebrating as I'm getting ready to throw a pitch. So like in those instances, you kind of wish like you could like, that team could enjoy the moment and like soak it in and whatnot. But it's, Jazz has to take his time out, so it affects his at bat.
But it helps you though, right?
It helps me. Yeah. But if roles were reversed, like same type of thing, we hit. I can't think of.
We just got to be smart. I don't care about what they do.
I know, but even on our side, we hit a big home run, and we're still celebrating. And the next guy's got to get in the box. He's got to make sure, like, I got to make sure I get in there. So the hitter gets a little rush because, they're hyped. Everybody's hyped. And sometimes we miss pitches. Like we missed in Arizona, we hit 3 home runs in a row. It was Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie. They went to lead off the game. And I missed Freddie's because Shohei went deep and then Mookie went deep. And we're all still celebrating. Mookie's just coming down and Freddie hits a homer. And nobody saw it. So it's like times like that where it'd be cool if it was a little slower, but at this point everybody's adjusted to it. the Yankees ran into some trouble in Game 5 where they had some pitch choice issues and Luke Weaver the guy gets to advance because they were shaking a bunch, but I think everybody's adjusted to it.
So Ohtani goes 50-50, first player in the history of baseball to do that. Like you on the team with him, you watching this live and up close and in person. What did you like? What was going through your mind at that moment in time?
Well, everybody was on 40-40 watch, and then he does it. He's a walk-off grand slam for 40-40, which we thought was going to be the highlight of the season. Like that's as cool as it gets. And then we realized the date. We're like, boys, it's August. Like he got a shot for 50-50, and then he stays hot, and he starts creeping closer and closer. And we're like, well, the stolen bases are going to get there because he kept getting them. He kept getting them pretty easy, and it was like he's gonna have to get hot. Otherwise, he's gonna have to do it in Colorado. And you start looking at the schedule, but every time he got up there, it was like he's gonna do something special. Like it just felt like he was gonna hit a homer every time,
literally.
And it felt that way. Like he got up, you're like, and you look at the matchup with the pitcher, and every pitcher was like, he's gonna hit this ball really far.
So we all felt the same way.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Every time he got up there.
How big is he?
He's a little bit bigger than me. Like he's a big dude.
6'5"?
He's like 6'4", 6'5". Like
Damn.
he's
Big,
got
though.
his
He's a
shoulders.
big dude.
His shoulders are
No, massive.
He's a big dude, and for him to move
I've
the
never
way he
seen
does.
him up close, but he just from afar, TV and at the games, motherfucker look big.
Yeah, and 50-50 is just ridiculous for.
Do you know
him
if he's gonna pitch next season?
Of course.
Oh, Sho's gonna pitch.
Man,
He's just
Show.
he's just gonna be a little delayed after his
because he
dislocating his shoulder. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did he have surgery on the shoulder?
Yeah, he had it like 2-3 days ago. He'll be good. He'll be good to go.
A little light minor.
Yeah. He'll be good to go. Left shoulder, but he's incredible.
But when and I asked somebody this because I don't know. So what happens when he pitches? Will he still be able to bat and somebody else is the DH?
No, he'll bat, and so there's a rule in there that's I think it's the Ohtani rule. I think I'm right about this, but when he pitches, once he's done pitching, he can remain in the game as a DH.
But
who will be the DH? There'll be no DH at that point. It'll just be the pitcher.
He'll just got it.
And then when the next pitcher comes in, he then becomes the DH.
Got it.
Yeah. So and how the Dodgers do it, I don't know how they're gonna go about it, but once he's done pitching, he'll stay in the game in DH.
Got it.
Which is that's as mentally tough as it gets, because if he doesn't pitch well, he's still got to stay locked in and be like, all right, I gotta go hit. So that's a mentally tough dude.
So it's been reported that the team plans to move Mookie Betts back to the infield next season. Do you think it's because maybe
because of Juan Soto, 1,000%.
Make a little room for Juan?
I have no idea. I don't play GM, man. I don't play GM. That's not my job. I haven't talked to Mook about it. But Mookie's gonna do whatever the team asks. He played shortstop this year.
Yeah.
And that dude got paid $300 million to play right field, and he's coming in.
I think it's 400, right?
What is something?
I counted 4.
I don't know. Whatever it is.
In
he's getting paid, he needs more.
Let me see. Game 1. That's what I was doing on the video in game 1. I said $1 billion, $800 million right here with Ohtani. Then I said $400 million y'all gonna walk, and now we got a $200 million guy getting ready to kick y'all ass.
Hey man, but
Freddie stepped up, bam.
The funniest things that we had was on some of the bus rides. I think some of the bus rides, for whatever reason, I don't know how it happened, but Shohei and Yamamoto were sitting together for whatever reason. Like I don't know how, but they would be sitting next to each other. They enjoyed it, and we would just look at it. We'd be like, boys, there's $1 billion in these two seats right here. And everybody was like, damn, that you ain't gonna see that anywhere else. There's $1 billion sitting right there.
It's a lot of bread.
And it was worth it. They were worth it. Yeah, it was.
What do you think the number would be for Soto though? Like, what do you think he's gonna make next year?
I think Soto should make as much money as, he should make.
To him. Yeah.
He should make $600 million. Like he's 26. Like you look at what Bryce made 330. Same type of timeline. Bryce should have made more money. But that was, I don't know how many years ago it was. Now you fast forward and now you got Juan Soto. Just based off of everything else, he should make $600 million. He should completely reset the market on everything because we don't work on salary cap, so it should all the market values of everything should keep going up, and they kind of have become stagnant a little bit where nobody's like made that crazy jumps to where everybody else now makes more, and Soto should make.
Yeah, I fuck with Juan Soto if you're a Dodger. I don't like him if you're not a Dodger.
I think
because all the he up there in the bat, right? So as soon as the bat doesn't go, I mean, the pitch doesn't go, he sits down and that little move that he makes.
Well, was there ever? Yeah.
Well,
did you ever have a corner you didn't like going up against?
All the time, yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's how I look at him. Like it's like he's like one of those. He's
staring me down and shit, man. Like, come on.
But that's what they do. He's trying to get at you. So it's a fun back and forth because he'll nod when you make a good. He's like, oh, that was nice, and he'll be like, yeah, I know. Like we gonna do this. It's like a nice little dance that goes on, and I've never spoken to him, but I've pitched against him a lot because we was in the National League, and felt like every time I faced the Nationals, he was playing. Every time like we played the Nationals, I had to pitch. Every time I faced San Diego when he was there, I had to pitch. And so for me, like I don't know how he feels about it, but it's like it's a fun like and I know he's gonna do his thing, and it's just like I gotta get him out. I gotta get him out. So I gotta get him if I want him to stop.
I guess because he on the other team, I don't rock with him.
Yeah, you'd love him in LA.
Yeah, Dodger uniform. All day long.
Hey, he's gonna compete.
It was like when we got what was my man from the Red Sox that we picked up in the middle of the season with the dreads? Manny.
Oh.
Yeah, when we had Manny, I didn't rock with Manny till he got to the Dodgers. I'm like, oh, we cool now.
Oh, Manny was the best. That was
he was the best, but not for us.
That was a time, man. I remember those days.
Not for us. But I hope that we do spend another $600-700 million to strengthen the team. Just get better. Just why not?
Hey,
why not put everybody out their misery?
Yeah, I mean that would be the ultimate. That'd be tough to pitch to. Those
what
four guys.
What do you think the rotation will be? Just if you had to forecast it next year, because Kershaw obviously,
I have no idea.
He's getting back into the rehabbing his surgery that he had.
Yeah.
So you just wouldn't know.
Huh? I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna end up, and
you're gonna end up here.
Hey man, I don't play GM like I said.
Well, we can't. We gonna pay you what you deserve and get every dime, and you're gonna be pitching for us in game 1 next year.
Hey, whatever ends up happening, but I don't know what the rotation gonna look like. They got a bunch of guys coming off injury. I know Glasnow is gonna be back. He was itching to come back at the end of the year, but they was like, look, man, like we got to have you for next year. That he's the ultimate competitor, ultimate dude. Love him.
Baller,
yeah. He's a baller.
Without giving it away and talking corporate to me though, would you want to stay?
I mean, of course. I said it at the parade. I would love to stay. I would love to be here. But whatever ends up happening is going to end up happening. There's whatever the opportunity brings. This team, the LA, they've got some Dodgers have some decisions to make in terms of everybody. There's a bunch of other guys out there who are real good, and we'll see what happens, man.
See, I don't like that answer.
No, I can't give a real answer.
I don't like that.
I can't.
No, I'm not asking him to give me an answer. I just want him to make me feel good.
Right. I mean, he said he wants to be here.
But that's the party
Nobody
line,
wants to
Keyshawn. I
leave.
want to be here, But did they give you any indication at all that they wanted you? They just need to figure it out.
I haven't had any long conversations with them, but I know that in my time here, and the conversations I've had, everything was good. Like
beautiful.
I mean,
he'll be here. I already got it.
It was awesome.
You ain't got to negotiate with me. I got it.
I love Doc. I love Mark. I love all those guys in the front office. Like, I mean, it was second to
winter
none.
meetings are in December, right?
Yeah.
So that's
when
kind
a
of
lot
when it
goes
all
on.
gets
I wish free
going.
agency happened the way it does in football and basketball, where once it opens, like you just see everybody sign. But it opens and then nothing, very little things happen, and then winter meetings it happens. But things get slow played for whatever reason, and I don't know. Teams got to make decisions, but
but you and our plans, I ain't even worried about it, man. I'm not worried about it.
If I'm back, I'm back.
Before we let you go, we want to play a game called Choose Your Teammate. So we're gonna do like teammate to have dinner with, for example. Who would you pick?
Oh, just one teammate from the Dodgers?
You could just, well, you're a free agent now, so let's just say.
No, he's not a free agent.
All right,
He's
let's
not
stick with the
technically a
Dodgers.
free agent until December.
Okay.
He's
Let's
still a Dodger.
Okay, stick with the Dodgers then.
One teammate to have dinner. Man. Freddie. I got to get along with Freddie a lot over the last month, September and October. And yeah, Freddie. I would have said let's just say Freddie. Yeah.
Okay. Teammate with the most drip.
Oh, I can answer that for him. Mookie.
Yeah, Mook.
Yeah, that's easy.
Me and then Mook. 100%.
Yeah, him and Mookie.
And then
him and Mookie.
Hey, and right behind them is Yamamoto. Yamamoto and Kike.
Yeah, Kike.
Yamamoto and Kike, because Kike got it too. Kike, he's got the
Kike.
Puerto Rican, Yeah.
Teammate with the greatest sense of humor, you think?
Oh, Kike.
Yeah.
Oh, Kike. That dude, he's incredible. Oh my goodness. I don't know where we'd be without him. He was incredible.
All right, teammate to not mess with.
Brusdar Gratterall and Joe Kelly. Don't mess with Gratterall. That dude is
Joe Kelly
built
seems
like
serious.
Joe. Don't fight Joe.
He seems serious.
Don't fight Joe, and you don't fight Brusdar, because that dude is stronger than anybody in there. Like what he did and the injuries that he came back from. I don't know. I don't know how he came back from his hamstring when he did. I thought his season was over, and he comes back and he's pitching huge innings for us in the NLCS and World Series. That was incredible.
And the last one, teammate that you would let date your sister if you have one.
That I would let date my sister if I had one? Oh, man. Can they be married? Because
they got to date and get married first. They got to date.
I'd have to pick one of the married guys. Gavin Stone. Stone. That was like my
good guy.
He ended up being my little brother. I'd take Stoney.
Good guy.
Yeah, Stoney. That's my guy. 100%.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd have been like Max Muncy or something like that.
Oh, you said I could pick somebody who's married. I would have.
No, you can pick somebody who's married.
Oh.
It doesn't mean that it's not.
Yeah,
we're not saying,
literal.
hey, leave your wife and can date my sister.
Oh, I would say Stoney, and then I would say Kirsch. I'd let
Kirsch,
yeah, 100%.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I already asked him the last question in free agency. He wouldn't give me any of that, though.
That's fair.
Which
gotta
is
give you
fair.
what I gotta give you, man.
Yeah, it's like anything. I wouldn't tell anybody anything what I'm thinking.
I know.
You know, that's just the reality of it.
It's unfortunate, but
when Fox messes up, I'm not telling anybody where I'm going. That's just the reality of it. See it when you see it. No, I appreciate it, though, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks a lot. That's a wrap for today's show. Again, thanks to Jack Flaherty for joining us. Remember to follow All Facts Pod on social media and subscribe on YouTube. Until next time, peace.